Today I'm going to be going over Laserapp Anywhere and how to use it through Salesforce. So as you can see here, I'm currently logged in as Joe Advisor, and if you're not sure of which client you have currently loaded in, it does say that client's name at the top. You can always click contact data, and it will give you a preview of all of the information. You can see the different categories over here on the left side. So you can actually close this window once you're logged in. You don't have to leave it open, because once you're in Salesforce, if you go up to the top right corner, there's a button that says Laserapp for Lightning. When you click that, it'll automatically open up a new tab. And now you can see that George Ruth is loaded in instead of John Doe. So to start off, we'll go and just search for forms. And here you will choose the type of business that it is. So let's say this one is going to be for American funds. Then we can come down and choose the corresponding forms for whatever you're looking to do. It'll all depend on the type of business that you do. You can add as many forms as you'd like. Then when you come up here, let's say you're also needing to add some of the Intervest forms. When you click this, it says select other business channel. Come down to broker dealer, Intervest International, and say the IIEC account form, IIEC client form, etc. Then you would click open forms. Now in this view, you get all the different forms. The pages that are grayed out mean that they don't have any filling required. So all the pages that actually have buttons up here do actually have information on them. So you can look through and verify any of the information if it didn't fill in correctly. You can choose what type of account it is. A lot of these will say like individual or joint, because you can have the spouse's data loaded in as well. And then to change the forms, because you can see this is only the application for entities, you just click that drop down and then you can choose the next form. And again, verify the information is filling in properly. Go through all the forms. This one's a good example where you can see, page 1 and 2 have information on them. You can just check the boxes like normal. Page 3 has nothing on it, and that's why it's grayed out. And so on. So once you're finished here, you can either save, and this will save it in Laserapp for later use. Let's say you're not ready to print it or send it off at this time, and you just type in a name that what you want to save it under. But most of the time what you're going to be doing is just click print preview. And from here you can save it as a PDF, or you can print it off and actually do go for wet signatures. But normally you're just going to want to save it as a PDF and upload it to something like DocuSign. Now one of the things to note about DocuSign is that Laserapp Anywhere does have the DocuSign functionality built into it for e-signatures, but the Intervest forms themselves do not have the e-signature functionality. So most of the time it's just going to be a lot easier if you have all of the forms filled in, go to print preview like here, and then upload the PDFs to DocuSign directly or whatever e-signature platform you're using. Now I'd like to go back to the dashboard, and I want to show you these personal form groups. So I made 3 different categories. You can see I can name them whatever I would like and put as many groups in these categories as I choose. If I clear all, it'll get rid of all of the forms that I had selected. Now if I come over to the left side, like I said, these are ones that I created. I'll show you in a moment how to actually make your own. But when I click them, let's say this is a new client, I'm going to add the Intervest forms real quick. In this category, I put the IIEC client and account forms and the III client account forms. I can add and remove as many of these as I would like. And then if I select another one, say this is a Pershing account, it adds these additional Pershing forms. It doesn't clear the other ones that I had added. So let's clear all. And I'll just select a few forms at random. And if you come down and say save to personal form groups down here at the bottom, you can choose an existing category, or you can type a new category name. And then here you're actually going to type the name of what you want to call these forms. And these forms can be, from a selection of different businesses. They don't have to all be from, like, all these are Intervest forms. They don't have to just be Intervest forms. Like, you can, let's say you always do the same 4 forms from like 3 different companies. Then you can have a category of just those forms. Once you save it, you can see test 2 is here, and there's the new group that I just made. Some of you also might notice that I have a different style than you do. I do have the dark theme enabled just because I personally prefer it. So at the bottom left where it says adjust theme, if you click that, you can choose, what color scheme you prefer. I find the darker ones are just easier on my eyes, but it's personal preference. Also, if you're doing insurance in some states over others, you can click insurance states and you can choose which states you do and do not do business in, just to make it a little bit easier when it comes to sorting through the forms and stuff. If you click user data over on the left side, this is your information. So if your information changes, like where you're doing business out of, or that you get married and your name changes or whatever, you have it, you can change that here. As I mentioned earlier, you can save forms. If you did save forms, you can either access them over here on the left side of the dashboard, or if you come up to the top and click saved forms, you can see a list of all the different ones that you have saved. And that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope this video helped.